So, you've developed a taste for aggressive openings. Your friends have tried convincing you to play mainstream garbage like the Roy Lopez in the English, but your soul cries out for something more. What you need is an opening so edgy and aggressive that it compensates for your deeply rooted sense of personal inadequacy. What you need, my friend, is the Danish Gambit. Pay close attention, because in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to teach you how to play this highly questionable gambit so well that you'll finally be able to look at yourself in the mirror without feeling overpowering shame. Let's get started. The Danish Gambit starts with e4, e5, d4, and d takes e4. Here, conventional wisdom would be to recapture with the queen. If you do this, you might as well put away the chess pieces and get into Play-Doh, because you're beyond saving. Instead, offer them a free pawn by playing c3. After they take, continue sacrificing by developing your bishop to c4. Black continues by taking the b2 pawn, and after they do, recapture with your bishop. Now, I know you've just lost 2 pawns and you're very stressed out, but just look at the state of Black's position. He has no pawns in the center, no pieces developed, and you have a pair of bishops even scarier than a pair of bishops. This is the goal of the Danish Gambit. From here, Black can play bishop b4, d5, or knight f6. If bishop b4 check, defend yourself and develop with knight c3. If the bishop takes, recapture. Now the g7 pawn is extremely weak, and your queen can come to b3 to pressure f7. In other words, it's basically game over. If they play an idiotic move like d6, you're always threatening queen b3, which attacks the bishop and threatens bishop takes f7. If they know what they're doing, they will play knight f6, which develops, allows them to castle, and indirectly defends g7 from your bishop. When this happens, play queen b3, forcing Black to give up the bishop pair. After they take, I know you're feeling very tempted to recapture with the bishop, but after they castle, f7 is protected and your pieces are misplaced. If you're feeling stupid for thinking of that move, don't worry, you deserve it. Take the bishop with the queen instead, develop like this, and put the rook on d1. Your pieces are far more active, you are threatening e5, and you have menacing pressure along Black's vulnerable diagonal. Winning from here should be a piece of cake for a man as handsome and gifted as you aren't. Moving on. Black will sometimes play d5 with the goal of deflecting your bishop, activating their queen, and distracting you from your dastardly plans. When this happens, recapture with your bishop. If they play c6 to gain tempo and central control, just take on f7 and collect your free queen. However, if you aren't playing against a chimpanzee with mercury poisoning, they will play knight f6, which leads to what is basically just an extremely pretentious queen trade. Take on f7, king takes queen, and then they regain the queen with bishop b4 check. After they take your queen, all you have achieved is an equal endgame, but you look very cool in the process. And besides, they could always miss the check and just resign here. There's no harm in hoping. If they play knight f6 immediately, harass them with e5. If they move the knight, take on f7. After the king takes, play queen f3 to regain the piece, and you've completely ruined their king safety. However, they will most likely play bishop b4 check after e5. When this happens, block it with the bishop, which forces a trade. Bishop takes, knight takes, and then they will play queen e7, pinning the pawn to the king. Just play queen e2 here to defend, and you suddenly have a very good position. Black is forced to retreat the knight, which gives you an enormous lead in development and superior space. If you don't think this is worth 2 pawns, you're just being ungrateful. If they immediately pin the pawn with queen e7, rejoice, because after queen e2 your position is crushing. They have no option but to play knight g8, and once you develop your knight to c3, your positional advantage is now so immense that it almost outweighs your sense of inescapable loneliness. And that's how you play the Danish Gambit. Sacrifice your worthless pawns for active bishops, a huge lead in development, and early kingside pressure. Subscribe to the channel for the best chess content in existence, delivered at completely random intervals. Like the video if you have the physical capability to do so, and share this video with your friends. I'll see you next time.